Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. Dark Gulch Rules for the Town Square. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Hi, there. You're Garrett Green, right? It's nice to meet you in person. I'm Kate. We spoke over the phone yesterday, and I was the one that sent you the welcome email. Again, we're very sorry that your house wasn't ready on your move-in date, but at least you're enjoying the hotel, right? Oh, while I've got you here, should I show you around the town center? Up first, we've got the square. You see the fountain over there? That's been around since before Dark Gulch was founded. Well, the water has, at least. The fountain was built on top of a spring that's said to have healing properties, but you can't touch it. Only the town doctors are allowed to make contact with the spring water. That's why we've got the fence set up there. Okay, what's next? Oh, there. You see that row of buildings? We call it the giant staircase because of how they increase in height like that. If you're ever on the roof of one of them, make sure that you don't try to climb up to the next one. Almost everyone who's tried it has fallen and gotten seriously injured. Most of them actually ended up in a mental institution due to brain damage. From the fall, that is. Alright, Restaurant Row. We've got all the big chains out here, but if you're looking for the best service in town, I'd suggest the local Nick and Rick's Pizza. As a general rule of thumb, if they're not out on deliveries, you shouldn't be outside, either, so always take a look at the sign in the door to see whether they're delivering when you're passing by. Let me tell you a bit about the walls. They were built around 10 years after the founding of Dark Gulch to protect against all of the attacks the settlers were dealing with. Fun fact, the bricks were made with grey clay harvested from inside the gulch. They were colored red using a special dye sourced from livestock. That first layer of bricks is still there today, facing out away from the square, but we've since reinforced the walls with extra layers of mass-produced bricks. What the hell is that noise? One last thing. If there's ever an emergency while you're in the town square, you'll hear those sirens. We're going to want to get to the yellow areas and close our eyes until the sirens stop. The yellow spots are safe as long as you're on them and your eyes are closed. Garrett, listen to me. Don't open your eyes until the sirens stop. It doesn't matter what you hear, understand? Keep them completely shut. The sirens continue to blare as we run for a nearby yellow section of pavement. Kate drops to her knees, face against the pavement. It almost looks like she's praying. I close my eyes tightly and wait for the sirens to stop their wailing. That really is what it sounds like, as if someone recorded and distorted the sound of someone screaming. It almost sounds like there are footsteps behind me, but it's difficult to hear over the noise. Just as quickly as they began, the sirens stop. Kate taps me on the shoulder and lets me know it's safe. Apologies, Garrett. It seems I have some work to do, so I'll have to head back to City Hall. You can make your way back to the hotel for now, right? I promise we'll be able to secure housing for you soon, so just be patient for a little longer. Kate hurriedly walks off until she rounds a corner. You follow after her, only to see that she's broken into a dead run toward City Hall when you round the corner. What the hell have I gotten myself into? I don't suppose there's any way out now. My stuff is already in storage here, and it was hard enough to get a moving company out here just to unload it. I need to figure out what this town's deal is. Well, that was the whole purpose of coming here in the first place. Though I fear that this story may end up being my last. Story 2. Rules for exploring an RAF station. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. So, you've decided to sneak onto an RAF station. Well done. You now have to avoid the entirety of the fucking mod. Luckily, I predicted you'd be this stupid, and snuck this in your pocket. Follow them. Our interrogation techniques are not too dissimilar from those of the worst nations. Avoid any and all contact with non-commissioned personnel. Details on types of personnel will be provided. 1A Aircrew. These are passive creatures, and can usually be avoided. If sighted, chuck a 10mm socket, they'll soon leave you alone. 1B Lance Corporals. These can be hostile, but cannot summon others. If engaged, point out that they only have one chevron. This will embarrass them, and they will be forced to retreat and cry. 1C Corporals. These creatures can summon Lance Corporals, but not many. Their weakness is work. If you act intimidating, they will usually scarper. 1D Sergeants. These are dormant creatures, usually only hostile if someone takes their crayons. If you anger one, run. They can summon corporals, but will not waste their precious energy chasing you. Taking a crayon may result in limb/organ loss. 1E Flight Sergeants. These are passive entities. They simply do not care. Just, don't upset them. They will lunge out for disrespecting them. 1F Warrant Officers/Master Aircrew. You annoy these, you're screwed. It's like hitting the hive mind with a hammer. They can and will send all personnel after you. Coffee is your only savior. 2. Do not piss off the RAF regiment. Those rifles ain't for show. They can and will fire at will. They also don't miss. 3. Keep off the runway. We wouldn't want you to be sliced up by a propeller, would we? 4. Stay away from the officer's mess, if you don't fancy feeling what others' teeth are like. 5. Keep off the damn runway. Jet engines mince you. 6. Engineers love their tools. Don't take them, unless you wanna feel them on your skull. 7. Always escape at night. You wouldn't want a warrant officer to see you, surely? 8. Stay off the runways. Seriously. 9. Why are you here? 10. Enlist. 11. Enlist. 12. They found me. 13. Enlist. 14. Walk on the runway. 15. Ask a sergeant for a crayon. 16. 17. 18. 19. Don't question the rations, you're one of us now. But seriously, don't. Or you will be the rations. Story 3. Rules for ensuring employee safety at Sea Point Mines. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Hello dear reader. If you are reading this document, you are the newest employee at our beloved Sea Point Mine. We are so elated to have you working with us. Now for a little history lesson, so you know how this operation started. Briar Daisley founded the town of Briar Bay in 1878. She had saved the townspeople by finding an area filled with various resources that would make it one of the most profitable towns in the whole region. The townspeople gave back to her by building the famous Sea Point Manor, a luxurious mansion seated on the edge of a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Nearly 100 years later, this once prosperous town is relatively barren. A once prosperous town, now forgotten about. The CEO of Odom Everest, noticed this dead town and argued that the potential to be great was still there. That it had to be buried there somewhere. Mr. Everest soon bought the town and manor from Briar Daisley's descendants, opening the Sea Point mine not even a month later and reviving the once dead town. The mine was rich with various resources consisting of iron, coal, silver, gold, and data expunged. Now, nearly a decade later, the town and mine are both flourishing and well on their path back to greatness. But in order to ensure your own safety as well as the safety of other employees, you must follow the following rules. Rule number 1, always wear the protective suit that we provide for you when down in the mines. The low amounts of tau radiation in the mine will not kill you no matter the amount, but they can cause a variety of effects such as headaches, nausea, bleeding from the nose, and paranoia. Long-term exposure to the mine's tau radiation can cause long-lasting effects such as loss of sight, psychosis, development of pus-filled cysts, auditory and visual hallucinations, delusions, limited precognition, and frenzied behavior. Rule number 2, as you begin your descent into the depths of the mine, wait exactly 30 to 60 seconds before holding your breath. Do this until the light above the elevator door turns green. This means you have passed the threshold. This is done due to the effects of the Dorian field causing massive pressure changes in the mine. Holding your breath is meant to equalize the pressure when crossing the threshold of the Dorian field. Rule number 3. After fully unearthing a piece of the ore, use the large pair of crucible tongs that are provided to grab the data expunged ore before placing in your respective Dorian field containment box, or DFCB for short. Please avoid touching the ore directly to minimize your exposure to tau radiation. Rule number 5. Do not go through any passages or elevators that aren't marked with a number. We don't know where they go, or what happens when you go through them, but those who do are never seen again. Rule number 6. In a few places around the mine, you will see various elevators and passages marked with numbers which are blocked off with boards. Do not under any circumstances go down into any of these places, or we cannot guarantee your safety. These are sites of previous incidents that resulted in major catastrophe and loss of life. We would appreciate if these areas were avoided at all costs. Rule number 7. Since the processing plant is underground as well, various processed ore passes directly through the mine. If at any point you get any of the processed data expunged on your suit, immediately press the red button on your suit, as the processed data expunged will cause your personal Dorian field to shift, either killing you outright or causing irreparable insanity. Rule number 8. The mine's natural Dorian field shifts periodically, around every 8 years or so. The human body is quite sensitive to the shifting of the Dorian field, causing one to be able to physically feel the shift. If you feel a tingling sensation in your eyes, the Dorian field is about to shift, and you only have a few seconds to press the red button on your protective suit. Pressing the button will temporarily stabilize your own natural Dorian field long enough to avoid the harmful effects of the shift. Story 4. Rules for the night shift. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Welcome to the Schofel Corner Store family. I'm so glad you've decided to join us. I know we are a little mom and pop shop, but that just means that we can offer a better work environment, and in most cases salary and benefits, than many of those big box stores. With your week-long training finally finished, Thomas and I are very excited to get you started on the night crew. It's not often that we get new employees that specifically request third shift, so you are absolutely a godsend. I'll make sure that Rebecca gets you up to speed as far as the routine of it. There is a few things that you do need to be aware of, just to make sure everything goes swimmingly. I know that the rules can seem stuffy and difficult to stick to. David likes to call them draconian, but then again he only works evenings so he doesn't understand, but they are there to keep you safe. Attached is a list of rules that must be followed every night. They must be followed to the letter. I'm sure I don't really have to go over how important they are, however I must stress that they are followed. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email me or just ask Rebecca directly. Thank you so much for joining the crew and I hope that you enjoy working for us as much as we enjoy having you. Alma Schofel. Rules for the night shift. Please make sure to follow all rules for a successful shift. 1. All shelves are to be fully stocked before the store opens at 6 a.m. 2. Floors must be cleaned before the end of each shift. The floor scrubber may be used for the larger areas but it will not fit between aisles 3 and 4 so that area should be swept and mopped by hand. 3. Make sure to remove all displays for Toastmaster Automatic Electric Toaster. 4. Do not unlock the front doors for any reason. 5. When taking out the trash, knock on the back door 4 times and wait for about 15 seconds before opening it. If you hear a knock on the door while waiting, wait 1 hour before trying again. Do not open the door if knocking is heard. 6. If the lights begin to flicker, shut off the breaker in the back room and turn it back on. If the lights continue to flicker, hide in the supply closet and stay silent. Remain in the supply closet for no less than 45 minutes. There is enough room for everyone in there so make sure to take a head count to ensure everyone's safety. Should you have an extra person in there do not acknowledge them. 7. If during your shift, a customer asks you for assistance, tell them I do apologize, however I cannot aid you in your search. Please come back when management is here to ensure proper assistance. When they leave, you have approximately 45 seconds to call a code Patrick on the radio and get to the supply closet. See rule number 6 for further instructions. 8. Between the hours of 2 am and 4 am, you may hear singing. It is important to focus solely on your work during this time so that they believe you can't hear them. Do not let them know you can hear them. 9. If you should hear something fall and break in one of the aisles, check the shelves around the fallen item. If there is an item missing from the shelves, clean up broken product and replace the item. If nothing is missing from the shelves, immediately move to an adjacent aisle and close your eyes. Keep them closed until you can no longer hear the shuffling of feet. 10. At least once per night, turn the open light on. After you do, take everyone to the manager's office and lock the door. Everyone must stay in the office for at least 15 minutes. If you hear screams, stay in the office for 30 minutes. When you are able to come back out, do so carefully so as not to slip on the blood on the floor. Make sure to turn off the open light, and clean up the blood. 11. The most dangerous entity is the doppelganger. Do not speak to the doppelganger. It will try to convince you to talk to it. Be warned that as soon as it hears your voice, it's already too late. Absolutely do not give it access to a computer. The doppelganger is easily distinguished by its asterisk. 12. Follow all instructions given by your supervisor. Why speak? If you break a rule, follow these steps to ensure your survival. Data not found, data not found, no on, data not found, no on, data not found, no on, data not found, data not found, no on, data not found, data not found, no on. Enjoy your shift. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.